So we studied a number of budget systems. And when I lodge into PM, practice exam 2, I want to do question 31 now, and then question 32 later on the night. Budget systems. So I'm navigating straight to question number 31. We are asked to prepare static course rolling budget for the next 4 quarters. I've got 8 marks. I should score worst case 4. That's 50%. So let's go. I'm told about the company is a multinational consumer goods company. Traditionally, the company has used a fixed annual budgeting process. It's been described. It sets quarterly sales revenue targets for each of its product lines. Historically, however, if a product line fails to reach its sales revenue target in any of the first 3 quarters, the company's sales director and finance director simply go back and reduce the sales revenue targets for the quarter just ended to make it look like the target was reached. They then increase the target for the final quarter to include any shortfall in sales from earlier quarters. During the last financial year, this practice meant that managers had to heavily discount many of their product lines in the final quarter in order to boost sales volumes and meet the increased targets. Even with the discounts, however, they still did not quite reach the targets. On the basis of the sales targets set at the beginning of that year, the company had also invested $6 million in a new production line in January 2026. However, to date, this new production line still has not been used. As a result of both these factors, static costs saw a dramatic fall in return on investment from 16 to 8% in a year. Consequently, something happened. The FD and SD have all been dismissed. 2 key members of the accounts department are also on sick leave due to stress and are not expected to return for some weeks. A new MD, who is experienced in this industry, has been appointed and is in the process of recruiting a new sales director and a new finance director. He's quoted as saying, "These mistakes could have been largely avoided if the company had been using rolling budgets. Instead of manipulating fixed budgets, right? From now on, we'll be using rolling budgets, updating our budgets on a quarterly basis with immediate effect. The original fixed budget for the year ended, for which the first quarter has just ended, is shown below." So friends, this is the budget that we are supposed to roll. Anybody wants to remind us quickly how a rolling budget system works? A budget for a year divided into 4 quarters. The idea is that we don't want to travel the full distance of the year before correcting any wrongs. So once each quarter ends, we look back, and if there's any wrong to correct, we correct it and adjust the budget for the remainder of the quarter and travel with it. What do I mean by we correct it? Things that we did not envisage when we're setting the budget. If those things start coming up now, accept them and then revise the budgets to say, as though we knew that those things would have happened. All right. 8 marks. My first approach would be to set up my lines. Quarter one has just ended. So in the spirit of rolling budgets, we are revising budgets for quarter two, quarter three, quarter four. And in the spirit of rolling budgets, we add quarter one of the next year to replace the current quarter one that has just ended. The budget was based on the following assumptions. Sales volumes will grow by a fixed compound percentage each quarter. Gross profit margin will remain stable each quarter. Distribution costs will remain a fixed percentage of revenue each quarter. Admin costs will be fixed each quarter. The actual results for the first quarter have just been produced and are as follows. Now, the new MD believes that the difference between the actual and the budgeted sales figures for quarter one is a result of incorrect forecasting of prices. However, he is confident that the 4 assumptions the fixed budget was based on were correct, and that the rolling budget should be prepared using these assumptions. Assumption number 1, sales will grow by fixed compound percentage each quarter. So we've got to find out that fixed percentage so that we grow the quarter one revenue by that amount, by that percentage. Please, can you work out from the budget what the percentage increase in revenue has been forecasted to be? The percentage increase in revenue, what it has been forecasted to be. Friends, don't leave the work for me. I'm going to go off record for 1 minute. When I come back, if you're able to do it, please say it. If you're not able to do it, no problem. Let me just know that you were not able to do, then we'll do it together. Revenue will grow by a fixed percentage every quarter. Friends, you've got to find that fixed percentage growth that was stated in the original fixed budget. We were told that that assumption still holds. So the spirit of rolling budget is that if quarter one actual was 14,096, let's roll it forward by that fixed percentage. I want to give an opportunity to as many of you that can to do. So I'll be with you in 1 minute, please. Friends, what was the quarterly growth in revenue that was forecasted? $13,425 growing to $13,694 is what percentage? Yeah, in the chat box, Anna tells me 2%. Belinda tells me 2%. Awo tells me 2%.
2%.
All right. If you're not too sure about the 2%.
2%.
All right, great. I will take new figure for revenue, quarter 2, divide by quarter 1 figure minus 1. And from quarter 2 to quarter 3, I'll take quarter 3 divided by quarter 2 minus 1. And for quarter 3 to quarter 4, I'll take quarter 4 divided by quarter 3 minus 1. And the examiner will always write the exam like that, if that is what he intends to be, a constant 2%. So it means that I'm going to take the actual revenue. I was thinking, because of what we did on revision day 1, do you think I should continue to work in the exam software, or I should work in Microsoft Excel so you can see my cells? I think that I should work in Microsoft Excel, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I should.
Yes.
Yeah, give me 1 minute. Let me open a spreadsheet. And but you should not work in Excel. Don't practice in Microsoft Excel. You should not. So let me that will waste my time a bit, but that's okay. New share. That's okay. It will mean I've got to recopy that. As a matter of fact, I thought about that, but I just didn't do it. Okay. Okay, so that once I take the 14,096 actual in quarter 1 and I grow it up by 2%. I take this and grow by 2%. Quarter 3 will take quarter 2 and grow it by 2%. Quarter 4 will take quarter 3 and grow it by 2%. All right. Easy marks. Put down the totals as well, just as the original question did. This summation I'm doing, you get to do the same thing. Oh, what did I do? Did you observe what I did, guys? Did you observe what I did wrong? Quarter 1 had ended, so I was actually rolling the budget into quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and then quarter 1 of the next year. Yeah, all right. Calculations are all correct. All right. We've dealt with the sales assumption. Let's deal with, I would like to deal with distribution costs. Distribution costs will remain a fixed percentage of revenue each quarter. Friends, what do you think? What's that fixed percentage we think we're dealing with? Distribution costs will remain a fixed percentage of revenue each quarter. What's that? When I look in the budget, Every quarter, distribution cost as a percentage of revenue. I got 671 in quarter one. Divided by revenue, 13,425. That's close to 5%. If that was the assumption, I'm expecting to see the same throughout. Divided by 13,694. 13, yes, 694. 5%. That's the assumption. So based on the actual results for quarter one, 705 divided by 14,096 is the same 5%. Now, if it was different, I should use the one for the actual results, because the assumption is that once we get revenue for a period, 5% of it should be the distribution cost. So I'm going to do %5 of revenue. Make use of the computer skills, the computer tools, drag along. Every quarter, it will calculate 5% of that quarter's revenue. Well, another easy one is here. Admin costs will be fixed each quarter. The original budget, it was fixed at 2,000 every quarter. But as quarter one ended, it was 2020. So the new budget will say it will be fixed at 2020. I'm getting a bit confused between where am I working. So it will be fixed at 2020. This should be done in less than a few seconds once you know what you are doing. This gets messy sometimes. Okay. Yeah. All right. The next assumption, we've dealt with admin, dealt with distribution. Gross profit margin will remain stable each quarter. Well, quarter one ended and gross profit margin was gross profit 5,356 divided by revenue 14,096. So gross profit margin should be 37.99. Let me do that again. 5,356 divided by 14,096. 37.99 is 38%. So gross profit must be 38%, 0.38 of revenue. And I know from accounting that I know revenue, I know cost of sales, so I can budget for, I know revenue, I know gross profit. So I can budget for cost of sales as revenue minus gross profit and drag that along. Friends, operating profit is gross profit minus distribution costs minus admin expenses. Budget has been rolled after quarter one ended, has been rolled from quarter two into quarter one of next year. The big advantage of rolling budget is that every time we've got a budget for a whole year. in front of us. Disadvantage is complex, requires a lot of expertise to be able to build up rolling budgets. Things that require a lot of expertise, disadvantage, can be expensive, very costly to do. I'm going to format these numbers, but remember, in the computer-based exams, the way we format is different. It's not the same. This one I'm reminding you that although I'm doing it in spreadsheet, you and I know the reason I'm doing it in spreadsheet. So you can carry this sheet and follow through to see my calculations. But in the exams, you will not use this. So practice the real thing to use. Any questions, guys? All right. Okay. If my friends are not asking questions, I've got just about a minute to end this Zoom session. So what I want to do is, you still have a minute. If you have any question, any issues, ask. Then we'll check out and come back and answer the B part of the question. I have a question for you. When we're looking at revenue growth, we went into the original fees budget to check out for it. When we're looking out for distribution costs, will remain a fixed percentage of revenue. We didn't go back to that to check. We checked the percentage in actual results for Q1. Although we're lucky that it was the same 5% everywhere, down and top. Why did we use it here and not the other one? This clock will tick to the end now. I'll end it. Let's come back immediately. Answer if you can. But please, I'll recommend that you speak to me or use the chat box when we come back. See you soon. Thanks, guys.